We have cool days and cold mornings this week with below average temperatures. Highs only in the 50s and lows below freezing in the 20s. More details on the cold weather and the possible winter precipitation we could see coming up.
Right now on News Channel 6 at 5, South Carolina's largest Martin Luther King Jr. Day celebration goes virtual. We'll take you to King Day at the Dome in Columbia.
Plus, we'll introduce you to a young man working to help find temporary shelter for the homeless. Meet the teenager behind Tachi's Tents and how you can help.
And an Augusta commissioner pushing a plan for the city's unused parkland. What he is proposing as your News at 5 starts now.
Live from Television Park, this is Wjbf News Channel 6 at 5.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Jenny Montgomery.
I'm Brad Means. Thanks for joining us.
Coverage you can count on begins with the Washington, D.C. area marking Martin Luther King Jr. Day with a March for Peace. Dr. King's family leading the march through the nation's capital in remembrance of the slain civil rights leader. D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser and other civil rights activists joined the group of marchers as they crossed the Frederick Douglass Memorial Bridge. The focus of the march was the fight for voting rights.
And a big local event to honor Dr. King. Every year they have it, and once again, the community came together for the Unity Breakfast at the Augusta Marriott downtown. The 25th year they've had it, all about making strong connections with one another.
Our goal is to just bring people together under the banner of love, unity, brotherhood, and righteousness. The message is that we need to get rid of all the hatred and bitterness, as he taught, and we all live together in a life that is one where everybody can sit at the table of brotherhood together.
News Channel 6's Dee Griffin served as the event's MC. Concerns of that winter weather in Augusta forced a drive-through MLK event to be rescheduled for tomorrow. AmeriCorps Vistas will host the event in the United Way parking lot. That's on the Kroc Center campus on Broad Street. From 9 a.m. until noon, you can donate items to help folks with basic hygiene needs. Talking about baby wipes, soap, shampoo, and conditioner, toothbrushes, and toothpaste.
Many events were held around the country to mark Martin Luther King Day, but for the second year in a row, one of the South Carolina's largest MLK celebrations took place online. Jason Raven tells us more about this year's King Day at the Dome.
Well, this yearly event usually takes place in downtown Columbia with a march from a nearby church to the front steps of the South Carolina State House. Well, the front steps of the South Carolina State House were quiet once again this year on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, but his life and legacy was still celebrated on a large scale.
He was a worker and a doer, not just a mouthpiece to follow. His belief, as we know it, was that all men were created equal and should be treated the same. His dream is still in the making.
Monday morning, hundreds of people tuned in online to watch and take part in this year's event. Organizers opted to hold it virtually due to concerns over the recent surge in COVID-19 cases. Now, their theme this year was Why We Can't Wait. Speakers talked about issues like voting rights and education. U.S. House Majority Whip Jim Clyburn of South Carolina spoke about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy as well.
He asked us to come back and go to work. Not to keep dreaming, not to stay awake, but work to fulfill the dream. And if there ever was a time for the fulfillment of that dream, it is 2022.
Now, the U.S. Senate is set to take up 2 voting bills this week. Senate Republicans, including South Carolina's Tim Scott and Lindsey Graham, opposed the legislation. During the King Day at the Dome event, speakers advocated for change and reminded those listening a familiar phrase from Martin Luther King Jr. himself.
As Dr. King said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
The South Carolina NAACP, along with other organizations, held the first King Day at the Dome in 2000. They organized it to protest the flying of the Confederate flag on the State House grounds. In Columbia, I'm Jason Raven.
Advocates of voting rights say there could be no greater tribute to Martin Luther King Jr. than to pass 2 bills that are in the U.S. Senate that focus on minority participation. 19 states, including Georgia, have passed new election laws. South Carolina is considering changes. South Carolina's senior congressman says lawmakers should have to put their vote on the record.
I mean, people tell me they are for this legislation, but they're against the processes that we need in order to get the legislation. Then I don't think you're on the right side of history.
Senate leaders vow to bring the bills to a vote this week, but opponents say it won't work. They say they don't have the votes needed from Democrats themselves to change the rules.
It is time now for a first look at the forecast.
Jenna Petracci standing by with that.
Well, we aren't seeing any more rain today, but it is a very cool and gusty Monday. Here's a look at our Jiffy Lube Skyview Network cam right here at Television Park. Notice there are a few clouds in the skies and temperatures are very chilly. We're sitting mostly in the 40s across the area. 44 in Augusta, Allendale 46, Thompson you're at 41, 45 in Louisville, and some spots are starting to see an increase in some cloudy skies. So notice our wind chill values, making it feel like we're only in the 30s in some spots, 36 as that feels like temperature in Augusta, 35 in Aiken. So we have sustained winds coming in from the west of 17 miles per hour in Augusta, 21 in Aiken. And when you look at those wind gusts, even higher amounts, 28 in Augusta, 31 in Aiken. So these gusts will continue to stick around for the next few hours. Lake wind advisory in effect until 7 p.m. tonight for the majority of our counties, so definitely stay off the water this evening. Satellite and radar showing a few clouds moving through the area, but overall pretty calm conditions throughout the two states. Just a few snow flurries up towards North Carolina and Tennessee, but none of that is headed our way this evening. We will actually have some clearing skies later on with temperatures dropping to only 36 degrees by 9 p.m. So overall a pretty quiet start to the week. Frosty conditions tomorrow morning as temperatures drop below freezing, and by the end of this week we're tracking rain showers and also some winter precipitation. More on that coming up, but back to you guys.
All right, Jenna, thank you so much. An 8-year-old boy from Trenton, South Carolina has a big heart. He's determined to help as many homeless people as he can. News Channel 6's Chloe Salsameda has his story.
My name is Taji Ray Johnson.
Taji Johnson has big dreams.
He says he'll be president one day.
But first, he wants to help people in his community.
I just kept thinking about people who don't have homes.
Taji started Taji's Tents this month. He accepts donations so he can buy tents for the homeless.
For them to be able to be safe.
Within 10 days, we've raised, I think, $2,700.
Thank you so much.
Taji was there when the first shipment was delivered. Boxes and boxes full of 34 tents.
He did not like the fact that Amazon charged him tax because he felt like those were extra tents he could have purchased.
This weekend, Taji packed up the car and headed to Columbia to pass them out.
All right, thank you, Willie.
He's so happy to be able to help provide shelter to homeless people. He really is.
Taji has more shipments on the way. He plans to head to Greenville, Augusta, Macon, and Charleston next.
Thank you so much.
What we're going to do is order more tents and just keep passing them out.
I asked him if this was for the long run or if this was just something he wanted to do, and he says he's doing it forever.
In Trenton, Chloe Salsameda, Wjbf, News Channel 6.
Each tent costs $25. If you'd like to donate, we have all the information you need on our website, wjbf.com.
Are fewer city parks in Augusta's future?
Children over the age of 5 are eligible to get vaccinated. Students 12 and older are eligible for a booster shot.
South Carolina health leaders have new guidance to help the state's teacher shortage caused by COVID absences. It's for teachers and staff who are not up to date on being vaccinated. DHEC says if they've been exposed to the virus but don't have symptoms, they don't have to quarantine. That depends on if they get a negative COVID test 5 days after being exposed. Those unvaccinated educators are advised to wear a mask for 10 days after exposure.
The investigation continues after 2 women were shot and killed Friday night, and a third was sent to the hospital. The shooting happened Friday at a home near the intersection of Hammond Avenue and Bungalow Road. Investigators say Therese Booker shot and killed Raven Tolbert and Mercedes Gibson, and then hours later shot and killed himself at a hotel before he could be arrested. A third victim is still recovering and is expected to survive. Several children were in the home but were not hurt. Investigators say the shooting appears to be domestic.
In Washington County, 2 teens have been arrested in a weekend shooting. It happened Saturday on Irwin Avenue in Tennille. Police say a 16-year-old was shot in the back, had to go to the hospital. A 15 and 16-year-old have been arrested, and the gun reportedly used in the crime has been recovered. The Washington County Sheriff's Office looking for a suspect accused of shooting at several homes. Investigators say it happened this weekend along Sarah's Road outside of Tennille. The Sheriff's Office says it recovered more than 30 shell casings from the scene. Investigators say Kyman Kyler is wanted in the case and is considered armed and dangerous. If you have any information, please call law enforcement.
Traffic is moving again at a major intersection in North Augusta after a crane weight fell off an 18-wheeler this morning. The 11-ton crane weight fell off at the intersection of Georgia and Carolina Avenues. One lane of Georgia Avenue had to be closed while crews worked to remove the weight. They were finally able to get that 22,000-pound weight out of the road just before lunchtime.
Well, still to come, don't be surprised if your next delivery is made by a robot.
This after a new milestone in autonomous delivery. We'll take a closer look after the break. Companies are betting big on robots in hopes of bringing down the cost of deliveries and making things easier on the environment. Now a new goal has been achieved.
And shop to what's happening around town. See it all each week on Local Living.
Saturday morning at 9:30 on News Channel 6. The Very Vera Show, Thursdays at 12:30 on News Channel 6.
Companies are betting big on robots in hopes of bringing down the cost of deliveries and making things easier on the environment. Now a new goal has been achieved. Robots that deliver without supervision. Rich Demura explains.
Don't be surprised if you pass by an autonomous robot on its way to making a delivery.
It looks like a shopping cart with eyes and a personality.
Ali Kashani is CEO of Serve Robotics, a startup with investments from Uber, 7-Eleven, and more.
We make self-driving delivery robots that will bring you food and supplies.
The company recently reached a new milestone, Level 4 autonomy. This means its robots can make deliveries on their own.
They need to have enough smarts, enough intelligence to deal with any issue that could come up without relying on people to oversee them remotely.
Last year, the company made over 10,000 deliveries in the Hollywood area using the robots, but their movements were constantly being supervised. Now, Serve Robots will be delivering Uber Eats orders mostly on their own.
It can deliver food, it can deliver groceries, it can deliver medication, basically anything that's not too bulky would fit in the robot.
The robots can still call for human help if necessary, like during pickup and drop-off, when they encounter an intersection, or when something unexpected happens. Otherwise, their movements are up to them.
It always wants to kind of give rights to people who are passing by and kind of be out of their way. So if it sees someone coming, it would slow down, it would kind of go to the side, make sure that they have room to go.
Serve says a majority of delivery demand is in areas robots can handle. Their goal is to take over 5% of human deliveries in the next 5 years.
And that would be equivalent to removing 80,000 vehicles off the road. So that's over 1 billion miles of car travel that we are trying to eliminate.
The benefit of bots: bring down costs and environmental impact.
The city of Aiken recently unveiled plans for the Aiken Business Coalition Entrepreneurship Program. That's a loan, grant, and training program to help small business owners start up and grow. People who want to do it have to go through 4 weeks of training and then 6 more weeks of coaching from successful small business owners. And then, after they meet all the criteria, they'll be guaranteed a grant or loan for their business.
Small businesses are something that our council views as very important to the fabric of the community. So we look for some sort of program and some partners to work and help nurture small businesses.
The program is headed by the Aiken Business Coalition, the Greater Augusta Black Chamber of Commerce, and the Aiken County branch of the NAACP, all part of Aiken's efforts to support small businesses.
Coming up, meteorologist Jenna Petracci has a look at your Viper 6 forecast.
And South Carolina crews making sure the roads are clear after all that snow hit the upstate yesterday. Stay with us. For a free estimate.
Can't can fix it.
forecast with WJBF Live Viper 6.
Good Monday evening. We still have a lake wind advisory in effect until 7 p.m. this evening. This is for these counties here in this beige color, and that means that you should definitely stay off the lakes if you're planning on going out there today. Winds are really picking up. Notice they're coming in from the west, 17 miles per hour in Augusta, 21 miles per hour sustained in Aiken. But as we look at those wind gusts, those are even higher values, 28 miles per hour in Augusta, 31 miles per hour in Aiken. And these winds will continue to stay gusty over the next few hours, making it feel like we're only in the 30s outside. Feels like temperature in Augusta, 36 degrees, 35 over in Aiken. So over the next few hours, as I mentioned, we'll continue to see those gusts. But as we go into midnight tonight, we'll start to settle down more to around 15 to 20 miles per hour. Overall, a nice evening though. Jiffy Lube Skyview Network cam in Aiken showing that sun getting ready to set. 44 degrees as the temperature in Augusta. And around the CSRA, we're seeing the 40s as our actual air temperatures. 39 though in Washington and Crawfordville. Very chilly over there. 45 in Allendale and Barnwell. 44 in McCormick. 45 down in Swainsboro. Satellite and radar across the CSRA showing we do have partly cloudy skies. Cooler conditions in place across the southeast with high pressure over us, but notice towards the northeast, that's that low pressure system that brought us the rain and winter mix yesterday, now bringing a lot of snow across the northeast and even into parts of the Midwest. But for us, no rain or definitely no snow to worry about for tomorrow. However, we will have some very cold temperatures, 25 at 6 and 7 a.m., only making it to 28 degrees by 9 a.m. with a lot of sunshine though. But for the high tomorrow, only making it to 54 degrees, a little bit warmer on Wednesday. So we have a brief warm up to above average, but then those temperatures will drop right back to below average by the end of this week in only the 40s. So that's when we're tracking the possibility of some more winter precipitation. On Thursday though, since it will be a warmer day, just a 60% chance of only rain showers. As we go into Friday through Sunday, that's when we're tracking the possibility of rain mixed with snow, also some freezing rain and sleet. Now, models are still in a lot of disagreements over this, but here is the latest for Thursday. 6 a.m. we do have the rain moving into the area. Overall, very light showers that'll be moving out of here very quickly. A break from the rain on Thursday evening, but by Friday morning, notice we start to see that pink color. That's that winter mix that'll actually start to move into our southern counties later on. Now we're still getting updates on those models, so I'll show those to you as they come out. But as of now, expect Friday through Sunday having that possibility of rain and some winter precipitation. Lows tonight going to be in the 20s, 25 in Augusta, and for tomorrow, a sunny day in the mid 50s. Overall, pretty chilly once again. Here's your 10-day forecast. 0% chance of rain over the next couple of days, then a 60% chance of showers on Thursday. Friday through Sunday, that's when we're tracking the possibility of some more winter weather and very cool temperatures all week long.
All right, Jenna, thanks. You know, parts of the upstate of South Carolina saw heavy snow and ice on the roads yesterday. SCDOT crews are working 12-hour shifts to make sure roads are clear. There are more than 42,000 miles of roadways across the state, so the DOT says please be patient. Crews have shifted their focus today off the interstates and onto the primary roads.
The interstates are obviously the number one priority. The primary major routes are the second priority, and then the secondary roads. As I mentioned, we depend on the sun a lot to help us with those.
And the DOT is still encouraging people in communities impacted by the storm just to stay off the roads if possible.
Coming up, residents at one local senior